Hi everyone, it's Tracy. Welcome to my studio office. This is our tour. So we start here with, of course, the sewing machine. And I really like this setup because I can put things here, and I have a thread catcher here, and I also have one over here because you never know which hand is going to have the threads. I have actually two ironing stations. My primary one, and the one I use 98% of the time, is the one in front of the window. When I'm at the machine, I'm totally focused on the project. So when I'm ironing, while I'm focused on ironing, I also can look at that view, which brings me great peace and comfort. And well, I just love that view. So anyway, so that's primary ironing station number one. Then I have ironing station number two, which I made out of a TV tray, and it's great for retreats and that kind of thing. But I also found I use it for piecework and stitch and flip projects. I don't use it that often, but it really comes in handy because otherwise I'd have to get up every 2 seconds. I use baskets for different things. So you can see the one in the corner is baskets that has all kinds of different batting. And then I have one for gift wrap paper, and then the other one just has plastic bags in it. This is my cutting table, and I have a waste basket right next to it, so I can, just shove everything in there, which really comes in handy. And then when I want to open the door, this just scoots behind, and I open the door, and I have all of my threads, which I love having them out. I know some people get worried about dust, but I really haven't found the problem, especially since I wrap most of them in plastic. And then I have a Swiffer cordless vacuum so that I can vacuum up all the threads and do that pretty regularly. So, and then my emergency flashlight. Okay, so I'm very excited about this because I will admit doing the studio tour has had me obtain and get things that I've wanted for a long time. I've never had a design wall up until this week. Thank you, Jim and Cindy, Joe, I really appreciate it. And so with the design wall here, and then I got a cart in front of it, and you'll see it's a way to organize. I love projects with selvages. You can see here, this is a little selvage bag I made. So I have a little carton that I at some point will cover, and it's for all my selvages. So I'm able to make fun projects like this. This is a cart, so I can move it out of the way when I need to get access to the design wall. And it also holds my rulers that I use most often, my rotary blade, rotary cutter, and then the projects that I'm working on. I just started a zipper quilt, and these are really handy. And then at the bottom, again, projects that I'm working on. I love to be organized. Some people do crossword puzzles. I figure out how to be better organized. So these are all different containers. This is going to end up being one of those cool scarves. I have all of my tools. I've got scissors. I have a little container for quilt clips, for the black and white bobbins that I use most frequently. Here also some jewelry tools and findings, but it's all right here. It's very easy. I never have to scramble. I'm never looking for, oh my God, what did I do with X? Because it's all right there. I will tell you that the gelato containers are really handy, and they're good to use. I have some of my binders, and my the only magazine that I keep, the whole magazine, is block magazine, so I have a stash here, and then the rest of them in another room. This is another cutting table. I used to have two studios, so I had one at each place. This holds scrap fabric, which is in the process of being organized. So there's nothing to see at this point, but there are empty drawers at this point, which will be filled up. And I'm going to sort the scraps by season with the colors. I think that's the best way for me. And then I have this puppy, which just is brand new and I'm very excited about. Again, I'm kind of obsessively organized. So here are these little bins. So they've got my sewing feet, they have additional tools, they have markers, tape, needles, on and on. I have organized my, as I said, I don't keep magazines, so what I do is I rip out what I like. So these are all of the notebooks that have the ripped out things. So for example, this notebook is just kid stuff, quilts and little projects, and then I can find it easy when I'm in the mood to make something for a baby. And then all of my supplies. Okay, this, as you can see, is my ruler wall. I love being able to find what I need, and half the time I don't even remember what I have. So as I'm going and organizing or pulling out a ruler, it's like, oh, look at that ruler. I didn't even know I had that. Anyway, it's all very easy to see. And that up there is my great-grandfather's citizenship papers, which I just think is very cool. So this is my closet, and you'll see in the bottom right there's a box, and it's my giveaway box to donate to one of the charity stores. I think a lot of people don't have this, and I used to not, and I would find things, oh, I mean to give this away, oh, I mean to give this away, but I would find them all over the house. So now I just have one place. I know that's where everything goes. When it's full, I take it. The extra sewing machines or cases are on the bottom. And then the red basket are all my mask supplies. And then I have bins that are marked for different fabrics. So this is sort of up above is kind of the non-quilty, and then below we get to the quilt stuff. Okay, so these are my bins for primarily quilting. I do not tend to buy random fabric that I fall in love with without a pattern. So we've all heard of UFOs, unfinished objects. Well, I have the NYSTs, and they're the not yet starteds. So I have 3 bins that are projects, and they're together with the pattern and the fabric. So, and it's all combined, and they're ready to go. So there are 3 baby quilts that are all packaged and ready to go, for example. As you move down, I have this other little organizer, and that's for scrap fabric, and that's my next project. I'm going to cut them into either strips or 5-inch squares or smaller, depending upon how much I have. The box on the left, the polyfill box, that actually is my December holiday gift box. So as I am purchasing things, they're just or make things, it's going into that box. And I have that year round. Okay, so this is what's called a bullet journal. And I have one for every day, and I have one just for my projects. What I found was that I lost track of what I had, and I would lose fabric, I would lose projects, I would totally forget about things. So I started this, it's called a bullet journal. It's kind of a combination planner, scrapbook, journal. And I started this, and what I do is I list all of the projects I have. When I finish them, I color them in. So I know that kind of what the status is, and then I can keep track of exactly what I need. Here was a quilt I did. Well, here are quilts that I did, and then once they're done, this is just a nice pattern I like. I also use it to help with the layout. Here's one that I received an order for. And I tell you, I think I needed, this is the completed project. It's a table runner, placemats, and napkins. And I received 2 orders with different fabric, and I really needed to do a lot of math and engineering. But now I have it. So when somebody else wants it, or if I want to do it for a family member, whatever, I have all this thinking that's already done. How this translates to my everyday bullet journal is that I keep tasks of what I want to do. So, for example, I'll have a daily to-do list, and this is how it looks. But some of it will say, make progress on X project. Well, that's kind of overwhelming. So what I do is I take these little pictures of spools of thread, and I mark down everything that I have to do. So these actually are completed, so I can go ahead and I can then color them in. But it's a way to keep track. It makes me feel like I'm accomplishing, I'm making movement on a project. I'm not just overwhelmed, and it keeps me moving forward. So that's Tracy's Quilt Studio office. And I hope you enjoyed it. And if anybody has any questions, of course, I'm always happy to answer them and help.